Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SPD Nordic Vision. I'm your host Stefan, and today I am doing something different with my video. So basically I had an interview with a friend of mine. We were talking about the student housing here in Iceland. So if you like my channel and if you like my video, don't forget to subscribe and you will not miss all the other interesting videos in the future. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Hello everyone! Today I'm in my friend Brandon's place and we are going to talk about something interesting, which is related to the student housing here in Iceland. And I know that a lot of people who come to Iceland, especially to study or living here, the first important thing is accommodation. So I hope that our experience together with our tips will be truly helpful to you. Okay, without further ado, let's start with a self-introduction. Brandon.
Yes.
Would you like to do it in English and Icelandic maybe too?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, hi everybody. My name is Brandon. You can actually find me on YouTube also as RN Gypsy. And I moved to Iceland last year in the fall to study Icelandic language and kind of start a new life for myself here. Så ég heiti Brandon og ég nemendur í Háskóla Íslands með Stefan og ég bý í Reykjavík með hundin minn Ella.
Oh, and I also heard that you have your own YouTube channel.
I do, yes.
So what is your channel about?
So my channel is primarily at this point based on kind of teaching people how to start a YouTube channel from scratch with very basic equipment, no huge budget, that kind of thing, just to give people a look behind the scenes, so to speak. But there's also a little bit of a flair of Pokemon in there, since I am a Pokemon card collector and a huge fan of the games. I'll be posting videos based around my collection and gameplay on the channel as well, so be sure to check it out.
Okay, yeah, if you are interested into Brandon's channel, I will put a link down below in my video description so you can find more information about his channel.
Why, thank you.
Yep. Okay, so when it comes to the student housing, for most of students who come to Iceland, they would choose two different kinds of housing. Number one, they choose to stay in campus with the student housing. Number two, they would choose to stay off the campus and have their own place, like Brandon. So Brandon, would you like to tell us a little bit your experience and the advantage and disadvantages?
Of course, yeah. So I did choose to search for and live in my own place off campus, which does present a few challenges, obviously.
Yeah.
First of all, being finding a place that's appropriate and within a close enough proximity to the university to be able to get to your classes. And that it's made even more difficult to do if you don't have a car. I do not, so I had to find a place within walking distance. That immediately kind of limited my options.
Yeah.
I also had to go through the hassle of finding a place that was pet friendly, which Iceland is not really known for, so that was a bit of a struggle too. One of the major things, whether you have a pet or not, no matter what the place is furnishing. That was another large hurdle for me. This place, when I got it, did not come furnished at all. I had to take care of everything on my own. So that is a bit of an expense that you incur in doing so. However, for me it made more sense because, again, finding a place that's pet friendly is not easy, and as far as I know, student housing is not pet friendly, so I didn't have much option there. And also, being in a little bit of an older age bracket, I'm kind of out of the, sharing my place with roommates and being in the middle of like a busy campus. So I wanted to move out away from campus just so that I could kind of live a more peaceful and quiet lifestyle, which is more suiting to my personality. How does that differ from life on campus?
Well, life on campus, as I did, Of course, well, I'm living in this kind of apartment that I have that I need to share the kitchen and the living room and the dining room with other flatmates. But I have my own room and my own bathroom, so that seems actually quite okay. But living in the campus does makes me feel like very convenient to reach to the school in terms of, for example, if you go to school for class, or if you need to have some activities. Of course, right now we have COVID, so we don't really have that many things going on. But I believe that things will get better.
Yeah.
And also, while you are living with a bunch of Icelandic flatmates like I do, and I study Icelandic, it does really help me to practice Icelandic with them. And people from different part of Iceland, they tell me different stories, so that's something that I consider as a good plus.
Yeah.
So, but also, of course, in terms of this kind of student housing that I have, you need to make sure that you get along with your roommates, with your flatmates, because maybe you don't get along with them, or with some of them, or with the majority of them. So this can actually make your experience quite negative. So you need to make sure that who are your flatmates, and if you get along with them, that's a very important thing. So what is your current accommodation situation? Would you like to introduce us what kind of apartment you're living in?
Sure. So I live in a one-bedroom apartment right in the center of city, right across from Tjörnin, which is a big pond that's right in the middle of Reykjavik. So actually I lucked out in getting a really great location. And when I say one bedroom, I mean I do have a separate bedroom, and then the living room is a separate thing. It's basically a studio with an additional bathroom and bedroom attached to it. So it's not the most spacious thing in the world, but for one person with a small animal, it's more than enough space. And another way that I got really lucky is that I live not in an apartment block like most people do. I live in a freestanding house behind an apartment block. So that helps for a few reasons. The major one is keeping the noise kind of far removed from where I am, which was a huge selling point of this place for me. And it allows me a little bit more privacy. I have a patio that I can go out and sit. If it's a nice day outside, I can just go and sit out there, not be in public, and kind of just do whatever I choose to do on my patio. So that's basically the place that I'm in right now.
Because you have a dog, so I assume that you need to walk dogs and stuff.
Yes.
So what is the neighborhood environment? Is it good?
Yes. So the neighborhood itself, I really enjoy this place, this section of Reykjavik. It's really centrally located. It's close to absolutely everything, but it's also it's quiet. There's not a lot of traffic that goes through. There are sidewalks everywhere, which is something I'm not actually used to. So that's a big plus. But the biggest part, as you mentioned with Ella, is having to take her out, which I live right next to a big public park.
Oh, that's great.
It's fantastic. There's a section of it that's pretty much just a huge yard that I can take Ella and just let her run around, do her thing, get out some of that excess energy that she always tends to have. And I couldn't have asked for better, honestly. Like I've had a place in Reykjavik with a small yard attached to it. Yeah. And even that I didn't feel as comfortable as having the larger space for Ella just a little bit down the street.
Yeah. Well, the environment, the neighborhood around the place where I was living, it's quiet, it's very nice, and there are the majority of all different kind of student housing. So we have student housing like what I'm living, and also we have student housing that is a studio apartment, and we have student housing for like a couple, we have student housing for family, so you can choose all different kind of student housing. But although the area is actually not that far away from the Reykjavik airport, so you may, expect like the airplanes keep coming and go, but you don't actually feel the noise that much. So that's something that I would like to say the good part.
Yeah.
But the bad part or the disadvantage part is that, so in that whole area we only have one little store, which I do not understand why is that like that. But the good thing is right now they are talking about making a big supermarket in one of the new buildings that is around. So I think that would be much better, because in our area we have a gym, so we have library, and also we have hotels. So it's quite close to all different places. So yeah. But how about here? Is it like close to restaurants, supermarkets, and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So where I've chosen to live is not very far off of the main thoroughfare in the Reykjavik, Laugavegur. So I'm really close to a supermarket. It's about a 5-minute walk from my house.
Yeah.
And then all the shopping and kind of nightlife when that opens back up is 7 minutes away. So I'm really close to everything. I'm 5 minutes roughly away from the university. So that gym you talked about, I actually go there. And I again, not to repeat myself, but I really lucked out in finding a place that was so close to everything I needed. So that I'll consider it an advantage, but definitely if you're considering living off campus, that is something that you'll have to concern yourself with, is finding something that puts you close enough to all the things you need to be near.
Yeah, exactly. From what I know, in the place where I live, because we have a common room, so like sometimes I can go there, of course I need to book the common room, and then I can have some like party or lecture there. So I just was wondering, is there a place that you can maybe like meet friends and to do some fun things nearby, so it would be very good to keep your social life?
Of course. So that is a major advantage of having a place that I don't have to share with anybody. I can have people over whenever I want, and I can have a cookout. I can do all kind of stuff. So the patio really helps with that. It's a great place to have people come over and get together. But it does offer me a little bit more freedom. I don't have to check with roommates. I don't have to make sure they don't have something booked out at the same time I want to book something out. So I will say that living off campus has afforded me a little bit more freedom than having to share my living space with others.
Yeah, true. The place where I'm living, because of COVID restrictions, so I most likely not. It's not preferred to take guests to the place. Of course, people are allowed to do so, but because of COVID restrictions, and also we have to respect the others, so it's a little bit difficult to kind of like keep the social work going. But this is a special moment because of COVID. As a matter of fact, because of COVID, the house that with shared facilities, the booking is kind of like going a little bit down, but more and more people wanting to have studio apartments.
Oh, wow.
Which actually I'm currently applying for the studio apartment. Is that because I thought of having a bit more kind of privacy is very important, and I would like to, of course, for example, invite friends over and to make some dinner and to enjoy a good time together. That would be very important to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brandon, for those people who intend to live off the campus, what kind of suggestion you would like to give to them?
Oh, yeah, great. So first and foremost, I would say to do your research before you get here. Mostly in familiarizing yourself with all of the different areas. Reykjavik is kind of sectioned off in different areas and different zip codes, and it would be incredibly helpful to be familiar with them before you arrive and start looking for accommodation. You want to make sure that you're close to all of your necessities, your grocery stores, any kind of nightlife that you may be interested in partaking in, and definitely the university if you're going to be a student at Háskóla Íslands. Luckily, the campus is very self-contained, so that makes it a little easier to choose an area. And luckily, Reykjavik is fairly small if you're used to other large cities, so it's definitely easy enough to reach everything, mostly by walking, but definitely for the things that are a little further out, biking's a great option. Of course, we have the scooters and we have a great bus system that'll help you get to where you need to go. Also, in that research, I would also start to look into the certain types of support that you can receive for choosing to live off campus. I know the Icelandic government actually has a support system for those who choose to live off campus, to live on their own. So you can receive some support to help offset some of those larger costs of living off campus. Do you have any tips for those that would prefer to live on campus?
Yeah, sure. For those who plan to live on campus, my first thing would like to mention is that they need to apply as soon as possible. So there's a website that you can check all the student housing that are available. That you just apply there, and then you will be in the system, and then they will inform you once it's your turn. Because there's a lot of people actually looking for student housing, not only the international students, but also the Icelandic students from the other cities. So they're all looking for the student housing. So actually, it's quite competitive.
Competitive.
Yeah, it's quite competitive. Yeah. Sorry about that. That's why you have to react quick to get yourself on the list, so you will not lose the chance. Okay, the second suggestion that I would like to give is that think well and choose the right student housing that you want. So as I mentioned before, there are like family housing, there are couples apartment, there's studio apartment, and there like a single room with shared facilities like I live right now. So you need to choose the one that fits you the most. For example, if you just come to Iceland for exchange, then I would actually suggest you to go for maybe the single room with the student with the shared facility.
Sure.
So you can you can make friends easier, and you don't need to deal that much with like the furniture and stuff. So in general, you have more equipment in this kind of apartment. So it's quite good, for the people who has a lower budget.
Yes.
If you actually want to have a bit more privacy, and also if you live in Iceland for quite long, then it will be good for you to consider about the single apartment, about the studio apartment.
Yeah.
So, and the third thing that I would like to mention is that try to get yourself a transportation plan. Like you can get like the bus sort of monthly ticket, because here is the bus station that is in student housing area, so you can easily get by. Here in Iceland, we don't have tram, we don't have metro, we don't have railways, so we kind of like have to use a lot buses to the other places. Or if you feel like you want to get a car, then you can of course get a car as well. That is very, very helpful. Yeah, Ella is getting naughty. Okay, so in conclusion, I would say that for those people who actually considering living in Iceland for a short time as a student, then they definitely can look at the student housing, because this is better in terms of the budget, and also they have more options to choose, and it's very secured, and it's very close to the school campus.
Absolutely.
So it's very easy for them to run their student life.
Yeah, and for those of you who would prefer to live off campus, I would say it's definitely an option. Like if you plan to stay in Iceland for an extended period of time like I do, I would say to start looking into that now, because the sooner you can get that out of the way, that's less you have to worry about in the future. So as long as you're well prepared for both the expense and the kind of stress that comes along with finding a place of your own, then living off campus is a fantastic option, especially if you prefer a kind of a quieter lifestyle, and something a little bit more removed from the activity that you may find in the on-campus housing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I hope that this video it will be helpful for you if you are just happen to come to Iceland to study and you're struggling a little bit with which kind of accommodation that you should choose. Then I hope that this video would be certainly helpful for you. Even you're not coming to Iceland to study or just coming here for like working or just to stay here a bit longer period, I hope that this video still helps, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We wanna make it easy for everybody to enjoy Iceland the way that we've been able to. And if this video helps in any way, shape, or form, I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you very much, Brandon.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So, this is my interview with Brandon. And I hope if you are a student who is coming to Iceland to study and struggling with the accommodation, I really hope that you will reach to this video, and I hope that my video will give you some ideas so you know what you're gonna do with your accommodation plan. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe my channel so you will not miss more interesting videos in the future. Okay, thank you very much for your time and see you next time. Bye!